very good evening to you. Glad you could make it for Citizen Sunday Live. And tonight, the by-election campaigns are heating up, and we have the latest in store in the course of this news hour, and also a number of features lined up. Here is what you have to look forward to.
Siku ya leo, firstborn wa kwanza wa United Opposition anazaliwa mlima huu hapa Mbeere North.
Ili wananchi wa exercise the democratic right bila kusumbuliwa, bila kushurutishwa.
Battle for Mbeere Malava seats. United Opposition and Kenya Kwanza leaders pitch camp in the two constituencies 10 days to the by-elections.
I have given a deadline. By the end of this year, the refill rate must be 95%. Mimi sitaki kusikia kwamba hakuna madawa kwa hospitali.
Ending drugs stockout. President Ruto directs KEMSA to ensure consistent supplies to public hospitals. Remembering road crash victims. Kenya joins the world in remembering road crash victims as the number of deaths climbs to 4,195 in 11 months.
Sisi tuko broad base, lakini kuna viti mbili hatuwezi ongelea kwa coalition. President William Ruto na Professor Kithure Kindiki. I want to tell them waombe zile viti vingine mpaka ya mzee ameta.
Forget Deputy President slot. Nandi Senator tells broad-based partner ODM that President and Deputy President slots are not available. I'm joined by Wilson Ochuka as a sign language interpreter. We begin the bulletin with the by-election campaigns as promised. Opposition leaders have vowed to give President William Ruto and the UDA party a bruising battle in the Mbeere North by-election. In the first major showdown between the opposition and the government in the Mount Kenya region, where President Ruto's popularity appears to be waning following his fallout with his former deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, the opposition, who campaigned for DP's Newton Karish, exuded confidence to capture the seat. Melito Oletenges with more.
Nyinyi ni watu wa Wantam. Harambee! Harambee!
Mbeere North constituency has become a charged political battleground as the United Opposition takes on the ruling party UDA in a contest that will determine who has the upper hand in Mount Kenya, President William Ruto or his former deputy Rigathi Gachagua. The United Opposition has promised to turn up the political heat in the home stretch and to squarely floor UDA in the November 27th by-election.
Leo tumekuja mlima Kenya kutafuta firstborn wetu wa muungano wa upinzani, naye anaitwa Karish. Mtatupa huyu firstborn? Tarehe 27 mtatupa firstborn?
Hiyo ndio sababu imetuleta. Lakini tukija hapa pia tunataka tuwape tuwapatie nguvu ya kujua kwamba Kenya ni mpya.
The contest is shaping up to be a two-horse race between UDA's Leonard Wamuthende and DP's Newton Karish, with the government said to have bolstered development programs in the region while intensifying campaigns for their candidate. There are 9 candidates eyeing the parliamentary seat.
Na wewe William Ruto unasema ati sisi hatuna akili. Wewe unasema watu ya Mbeere hawana akili. Tarehe 27 ikifika saa 6 ya usiku itajulikana kati ya William Ruto na watu ya Mbeere nani ana akili na ni nani yako na akili.
The leaders also took a swipe at President Ruto's allies from Embu, Governor Cecily Mbarire and Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku, accusing them of being used to divide the Mbeere community.
Hata ukirukaruka juu nasema ati wewe ni waziri, ukumbuke William Ruto alizika huyu JB Muturi ndugu yako. Wewe unacheza dance juu ya kaburi ya ndugu yako.
The opposition leaders held a series of rallies across Mbeere North, drumming up support for Newton Karish. Meanwhile, Public Service CS Geoffrey Ruku led campaigns for UDA candidate Leonard Wamuthende, closely trailing the opposition brigade at every stop in a bid to counter their influence. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
We stay on the by-election campaign trail, and a faction supporting the DAP-K parliamentary candidate in the upcoming Malava by-election, led by Kakamega Senator Boni Khalwale and the DAP-K deputy party leader George Natembeya, drummed up support for their candidate, even as they allege that their rivals are planning to cause chaos on election day to intimidate their supporters. The UDA camp, led by Senate Speaker Amason Kingi, however, dismissed the claims, saying the opposition has panicked. Meanwhile, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has warned that anyone attempting to cause violence during the by-elections scheduled for the 27th of this month will face dire consequences. Willie Lusige has more.
With less than 2 weeks to the Malava by-election, campaigns have intensified. The two leading factions pitched camps in the constituency to war voters. Both DAP-K and UDA camps traversed the constituency to mobilize voters, with each trying to win over support for their candidates. DAP-K faction, led by Senator Boni Khalwale and Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya, claims there is a plot to rig the election and instigate violence to intimidate their supporters.
Ili wananchi wa exercise the democratic right bila kusumbuliwa, bila kushurutishwa. Wala ambao wanapanga guns kwenda kupiga wamama na vijana wetu wakienda kupiga kura, I'm assuring you, hamutacheza na kura ya Panyako.
While campaigning for Seth Panyako, the leader said this election is a crucial moment for the Mlembe community to demonstrate unity ahead of the 2027 general election.
We urge you, mupige kura ya Seth so that nikienda katika bunge, wakati nitasema kwamba tunataka interns wa hapa waajiriwe, huyo Seth na yeye atazusha vita katika National Assembly.
On its part, the UDA faction, led by Senate Speaker Amason Kingi, has dismissed the allegations of planned violence, as well as claims that they are using outsiders in their campaigns. They insist that it is the opposition that is panicking.
Watu wanasema ati kuna foreigners juu wanatoka wapi kuja hapa, na kuna wengine pia wakikuja au sio foreigners. Mtu akitoka Kitale anatoka hapa kweli? Si pia amekuja kuomba kura.
UDA leaders are urging Malava residents to support their candidate to fast-track development.
Watu wa Malava hawatashiba na matusi. Watu wa Malava wanataka maendeleo, na barabara ya maendeleo ni ile barabara Mheshimiwa Ndakwa.
Ndakwa aende bunge, alete maendeleo, sitima, maji, barabara.
Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen has retaliated his warning against anyone planning to disrupt the by-election.
Tufanye kampeni zetu kwa njia ya amani, na tutahakikisha kwamba wale wanapanga njama ya kupiganisha wananchi wameshikwa na kupelekwa kotini.
Malava has emerged as a key battleground between UDA and DAP-K following political realignment in which the DCP candidate stepped down to support DAP-K candidate, while some DAP-K leaders crossed over to back the UDA candidate. Willie Lusige, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
ODM officials have moved to quell rising tensions within the party following 2 days of heated exchanges as the party wound up its week-long party celebrations. Party chair Gladys Wanga and her 3 deputy party leaders called for a truce and maintained that the Orange Party is the party to watch in the 2027 general election. Staying on that beat is Stephen Little.
During the party's interdenominational prayers held at the Karisa Maitha grounds in Kilifi, the party used the solemn occasion to craft a unity path. The party top officials moved to salvage a Tower of Babel moment and push for a truce among all party members.
Together tutafika Canaan. Baba alijua lazima tushikane. tunaweza kutofautiana kwa mawazo. Huyu aseme nataka hivi, mwingine aseme nataka hivi. Lakini mimi ile ambayo imenifurahisha, kila kiongozi ndani ya chama wamesema watakuwa wa mwisho kuachia chama ya baba ianguke chini. Kwa hivyo wote wanataka chama ikae pamoja, hata tukitofautiana kwa mawazo.
Tafadhali kanisa, tunataka tuombe. Mwendelea kutuombea. Tushikilie chama hiki. Ahadi natoa. Hatuwezi rudi nyuma. Tutachenga chama na tutasherehekea miaka 40 wakati miaka 20 itakapopita.
Niombe kwamba sisi tunaposherehekea miaka hii 20 tukawe na moyo wa kupenda kuwaunganisha watu wote, hata wale walioko kwa vyama vingine.
Which way ODM is the big question that has put the party at crossroads, with the broad-based government arrangement now left confused over the party's position ahead of the 2027.
Tusiende kwa story mingi. Wimbo tukisimama mbele ya watu kama vile nimesimama hivi, ikuwe kwamba tunataka 10-point agenda ambayo mzee aliweka kidole, ambayo baadaye ilikuwa gazetted na wakatengeneza kamati, hiyo mambo yote itekelezwe.
Sisi tumesema tutakaa hapo ndani ya broad-based government kwa sababu ilikuwa kitu ambayo ilifanyika mchana, na wakati tutataka kusema vile tutaendelea 2027, tutazungumza kama viongozi, tutazungumza na wanachama, tutaamua hii ndio njia ambayo tunaenda together pamoja. Sisi hatuyumbi, hatuna wasiwasi, hatuna mdomo mingi.
Mungu awalinde, awatendee mema na Bwana awabariki nyote.
The competition within the party on who controls Orange House played out during the anniversary celebrations, and now the party top brass have warned against friendly fire within the party.
Mti ukianguka, ndege huwa ni wenye kurukaruka. Katika hali ya kurukaruka, ni jukumu letu sisi kama wale ambao kwamba ni viongozi wa sasa kuhakikisha ya kwa kila ndege ametulia.
Tafadhali kupea baba heshima. Kama kuna rafiki yako kule Mandarini, pigia simu, wapigie Mheshimiwa Ali Kombo kura, ndipo wapewe baba heshima.
With the celebrations now over, the party says the focus will now embark on the by-elections campaign trail to bag all the seats it is seeking during the 27th November elections. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV, Kilifi County.
Staying with ODM politics, President William Ruto played down demands by a section of ODM leaders urging him to join the party as an election support precondition. The head of state, while attending the founders' dinner in Mombasa, urged the leadership of the party to remain in the broad-based arrangement. With that report is Seth Olale.
DJ. Hapana lete mchanganyiko.
President William Ruto led ODM founding members, including former Minister Henry Koskei and Kisumu Governor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o, in commemorating the 20th anniversary celebrations of the party at a special dinner in Mombasa.
Founder member certificate, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi.
The party founders using the dinner to pay tribute to the former party leader, Raila Odinga, as a legendary leader who fought for democracy, inclusivity and good governance.
Among the key founding figures who stood with the people were Raila Amolo Odinga, Makofi Basi, our party leader and the enduring face of the movement, whose untimely passing remains a great loss to our people. ODM under Raila has midwifed stability and transitional and smooth transition.
And we found out that a mischievous character called Manyara, with a maybe I can't call it, maybe a sinister motive, had registered our party. How come? Who is this Manyara? We haven't even known. I think I've met the character twice. Is he here? Papi, he's around, eh? One day he will tell us his motive.
The debate over the party's stand on the broad-based arrangement also took center stage, with the head of state playing down demands by a section of officials to rejoin the party for the 2027 presidential polls.
Acha hiyo storia. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Yeah? Mnasema nirudi nyumbani, si niko nyumbani tayari. What is the problem? As William Ruto, I was very sad. In this election, this past election of 2022, people were having sleepless nights. My team were having sleepless nights. Me, I was sleeping because it didn't matter to me who won the election.
Because how are we going to implement our policies if we don't have power? If you are going for demonstrations.
It's not known in the region I come from. And when you do other things, remember, we are there. We have Akamau, we have Mwangi, Maina. We have so many of them. We are a part of the ODM.
Seth Olale, Citizen TV, Mombasa County.
Now, in what appears to be letting the cat out of the bag, Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei has told broad-based partners, ODM, that the president and deputy president slots are not available. In response to ODM's demand for deputy president slot come 2027, Cherargei said the slots were non-negotiable. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, who was at the event, however, cautioned against political statements which he said risk dividing the country. Ayub Abdikadir with that report.
In what appears a response to the Orange Democratic Movement, Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei said the positions of the presidency and the deputy presidency are non-negotiable, expressing support for the current status quo.
Kwa sababu ya shukrani yetu kwa kusimama na kijana yetu Rais William Ruto. So I want to tell wenzangu, kama ni wale tuko broad-based, kama ni wale wanataka tufanye kazi pamoja, viti yote mbili ya juu ya rais na deputy shaenda. So jipange, labda waombe ile ya kanisa ama sijui ya gani, but they should watafute ingine. Kwa sababu hii yako ni assured.
DJ, hapana lete mchanganyiko.
Remarks that bear all the political possibilities of causing a rift and endanger the broad-based arrangement. During the church service, however, the deputy president steered clear of the topic, instead using the occasion warning against political talk he said borders on threatening national unity.
Kama kiongozi wetu amefanya bidii kuhakikisha kila sehemu ya Kenya wanajisikia wao ni sehemu ya maana ya Kenya, isipokuwa mtu amezaliwa wapi, ni wa kabila gani, ni wa dini gani, ni wa rangi gani.
Kindiki cautioning against political talk he said risks slowing down the government from accomplishing planned projects.
But for now, we remain focused in doing the right thing, building our country, accounting for our time in office, and supporting our president, who is the vision bearer and the carrier of our country's unity.
In Wajir County, Health CS Adan Duale accused the opposition of lacking an alternative plan.
And I think this is what the problem in Kenya. William Ruto wants to move Kenya from third world to first world. He has a plan, he has a program, and he has the will and the commitment under his government.
The former Garissa Township MP saying President William Ruto will be judged by his scorecard in the 2027 presidential contest.
And the Somali community, Mr. President, you brought back our dignity. You brought back and created equality for the people of Kenya. And come 2027, we want to urge our people to register en masse so that we can pay for the dignity that you brought back to our communities as Muslims and as the Somali community.
Ayub Abdikadir, Citizen TV.
On to matters health now, and President William Ruto has directed KEMSA to end the perennial drugs shortage in public hospitals by supplying medicines directly to health facilities instead of county stores. Blaming the drugs stockout to bureaucracy in the distribution of drugs, the President ordered the State Medical Supplies Agency to ensure a 95% refill rate by December. President Ruto, who was speaking in Loglogo, Marsabit County, also defended his plan to establish a national infrastructure fund to raise funds for road construction across the country. With more is Gatete Njoroge.
After a heavy week of political engagement in Ukambani and Coast, President William Ruto on Sunday toured Marsabit County. The head of state, who worshipped at Africa Inland Church in Loglogo, Laisamis, talking tough on steps his administration is taking to streamline health services in the country. His eyes trained on KEMSA.
Huyu wako mimi nimempatia kazi ya kupatiana dawa kwa mahospitali zetu zote za Kenya. Nimemwambia atumie teknolojia. Nimemwambia dawa ikitoka kwa store ya KEMSA isiende Marsabit, atikwenda kwa store ya Marsabit, ikuje kutoka Nairobi mpaka Loglogo, na ile ya Loyangalani iende Loyangalani, kwa sababu shida ni kwamba dawa inaletwa, inaingia kwa store hapo town, inakaa hapo mwezi moja, wananchi wanahangaika huko wakingojea.
President Ruto directed KEMSA to ensure adequate and consistent supply going forward, as he urged residents to register with SHA to access free primary health care services.
I have given a deadline. By the end of this year, the refill rate must be 95%. Mimi sitaki kusikia kwamba hakuna madawa kwa hospitali.
In responding to pleas by the local leaders on construction of roads in the area, the president urged MPs to support his idea of creating a national infrastructure fund to address the growing infrastructure needs.
Mujitolee kujipatia kitambulisho, na ukipenda ujiandikishe ndio uchague kiongozi wako. Na kiongozi usimchague kwa sababu ya ukabila ama ya fitina ama sura. Chagua kiongozi kwa sababu ya kazi ile anafanya.
Tangu wewe uingie katika ofisi na uweke mikakati ya usalama, wao viongozi wameketi pamoja, na ile vita ilikuwa ya clans imepotea kwa sababu wao walikusikia na wanakaa pamoja, wanaleta wananchi pamoja.
President Ruto also dished goodies to Marsabit County with allocation of 4.5 billion shillings for the affordable housing project and 1.6 billion shillings for electricity connectivity. Government has also pledged to add more administrative units in the area to ensure timely service delivery to residents. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV.
Now for our first special report of the night. For decades, northern Kenya has endured one devastating drought after another. Communities lose everything, and before they can recover, another drought strikes. Children are born into hunger, their lives shaped by malnutrition and loss. Tonight, our reporter Emily Chebet brings us the story of an old man who lost more than 200 goats during the last drought, now frail, sickly and blind, unable to even see the 5 goats he's left with. A tale of an older generation fading out and a younger generation growing into the same pain.
70-year-old Bobo Sora is seated quietly inside his Manyata in Dukana, Marsabit County. His movement is restricted not just by old age, but the slow, crushing weight of drought, hunger and illness. A man who once walked across these vast plains with his livestock can no longer stand, can no longer help himself, and cannot see what the drought has done to the livelihood that vanished with the rain. The biting drought that ravaged this region in 2022 and 2023 took almost everything from him. Since then, his wife says life has never been the same. Mzee Bobo's health has continued to deteriorate, and now he has lost his sight completely.
I was grazing my 200 goats through this Dukana area. Now I am remaining with nothing. I can't see. I went to the dispensary. I was told it's high blood pressure. I don't have any help.
Bobo's wife Helena has been left to fend for their 4 children while caring for her ailing husband. The harsh terrain and the long distance to a proper hospital have only worsened his condition. The best care Bobo has received so far are painkillers from the nearby dispensary, a temporary relief for a pain that runs far deeper. He says his joints ache, but the wound of losing his entire livelihood is a burden that he carries inside, one he says feels heavier than the blindness itself. Lighting a fire in homesteads like these is not a routine. It only happens when luck finds its way to the door. Tonight's meal is maize and beans, the first they've had since yesterday. But even this simple meal is a struggle for Bobo. The hard grains are tough on his aching teeth, just as life itself has been on his entire being.
I have given him ugali at lunchtime, just that. I don't have vegetables. He ate ugali and water. Since he cannot walk and he can't see, we put this bucket here. He goes for short call and long call here. Showering is also here.
Mzee Bobo Sora and his wife, once known for their vast herd that roamed the plains of Dukana here in Marsabit County. The Mzee now lying in here, sickly, blind, frail and hungry. He says life has lost meaning completely. This is just one of the painful stories of what families are going through year in, year out to drought. Bobo's despair echoes across the arid and semi-arid lands, miles away from Dukana. Deep in the villages of Laisamis and Bala in Korsap County, a new generation is being born into hunger. Children are at constant risk of malnutrition, a harsh reality their parents can only watch, just as the elders once watched their herds vanish with the drought.
Children cannot find vegetables, no fruits. I am remaining with only few goats. I don't have camels.
Marilene's kitchen is still, the fireplace cold. There is nothing to cook, not tonight. Skipping meals is no longer an option but a way of life in a place where tomorrow is never guaranteed. Statistics from the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies show that more than 740,000 children under 5 are acutely malnourished. Over 170,000 of them are severely and more than 500,000 moderately. Additionally, more than 100,000 pregnant and lactating women are in need of urgent treatment.
Mama anakuja na mtoto mgonjwa, baada ya kumpatia madawa, anakuambia mwanangu nikule nini? Patie kitu ya kupatia mtoto baadaye kabla nimpatie dawa. Juu dawa itamlemea pengine. Sasa unakuta tu pengine umeingia mfuko yako.
The exit of the USAID has worsened the situation, forcing children who are receiving supplements to stop, even as hundreds more join the growing population in need.
In only 1 month, tulipata watoto 16 yenye wanafaa kuingia kwa program. Wache wenye walikuwa. Alafu the other villages bado wako wengi sana. Na problem is we don't have. Hatuna kitu wa kuwapatia.
Community health promoters are instrumental here, but their hopes are fading away. The county government stopped paying them, yet they carry the burden of most families, especially pregnant women and children.
National government tunapatanga, lakini ya county hatujapata karibu mwezi 13 ama 14.
Kila mwezi 2,500. Sasa tuko na 14 months. Hakuna pesa tulipata.
As the old struggle to hold on to what little remains, the circle continues, a fading past, a fragile present, and a future yet to be written. In the past, every report shows their pain, yet the question remains, will the government act this time? Will devolution bring real change, or will these communities continue to bear the same suffering generation after generation? Emily Chebet, Citizen TV from Marsabit County.
A moving image there with Emily Chebet, like the mother hen, and the tots like her chicks. So we hope that following that highlighting of their plight, they will receive some assistance. Should you wish to rewatch that report, it will be uploaded to our digital platforms. Just search for Citizen TV Kenya. We take a break, but here is what's coming up on Sunday Live. Uproar as court clears construction of a 16 billion gas plant in Mombasa. Thank you for staying with us on Citizen Sunday Live. Police have arrested 6 suspects said to be members of a notorious criminal gang linked to a series of burglary and robbery incidents in Nairobi. As Franklin Wala reports, those arrested include an Indian national, a Tanzanian national, and 4 Kenyans. The suspects were arrested when they broke into a house within Nairobi's South B estate.
It was their proverbial 40 days for 6 suspects who are linked to a spate of burglary in many estates within Nairobi. Sunday, their target was this house within Joachim Estate in Nairobi South B. The house owner is said to be currently abroad undergoing treatment. They arrived in this black X-Trail vehicle with fake insurance and fake number plates. Armed with several master keys and tools, they gained entry into the house. It did not take long before neighbors sensed danger and alerted the police.
For the last 2 years, these people have been terrorizing Mwananchi. They have been breaking into their houses, stealing valuables. That is money, gold, and other very, very valuable things. Using this motor vehicle, one of them is a Tanzanian, and we have a buibui lady by the name Jacqueline. At the same time, the ringleader is that person of Indian origin.
This CCTV footage captured the suspected thieves as they undertook their operation. This lady kept vigil as they ransacked the house. Luckily, she escaped when police arrived.
The neighbor called in the OCS, the officer commanding police station South B, who came in within 3 minutes when they were almost making their way out. Also, I want to tell judiciary, since these people have been arrested on several locations, now they should take in interest.
The 6 include an Indian, a Tanzanian national, and 4 Kenyans. The suspects, together with the lady, are linked to more than 180 reported cases of housebreaking within Gigiri, Parklands, and parts of Westlands.
And the same gang had entered in my house last year, so they took everything. There was one windy, and I think this was the car, Nissan X-Trail. Oh, it was jewelries, all the valuable items.
The suspects have been detained as investigators pursued the lady who escaped. Franklin Wala, Citizen TV.
NTSA has announced that it shall be retesting drivers ahead of the festive season in a robust campaign aimed at reducing the number of fatalities on the road. Speaking at the World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Crash Victims, Acting Director General of the NTSA emphasized the need for a multi-sectoral approach in order to tame road carnage. Laura Otieno reports on the plight of victims who bear the scars of road accidents.
As hundreds marched across the world in remembrance of victims of road accidents, 39-year-old Emily Omondi struggles to step on the podium. In August this year, she survived the horror crash along the Kisumu-Kakamega road that left 21 people dead. Her quality of life, like thousands of other survivors, sharply declined as she had to abandon her tailoring job.
Siwezi fanya hiyo kazi. Maisha imekuwa ngumu. Juu niko na watoto wadogo bado, wengine wako shule. Na bado niko na uzito.
Don't use your phone while driving. Check on the zebra crossing. Like on Ryan's case, he was hit within the estate, just nearby here. So be careful. Just watch out because the roads aren't friendly.
In her speech in Eldoret, Acting Director General at NTSA Angela Wanjira announced a raft of measures including the retesting of drivers flagged by the Intelligent Road Safety Management System in order to tame the rising road carnage.
We are also going to have
joint enforcement programs between ourselves and the National Police Service. And with this I want to emphasize that these are friendly checkpoints.
So the CTSC, the County Transport and Safety Committee, has the responsibility, and also we have been working very closely with the NTSA, of disseminating information about road safety.
According to NTSA, there have been a total of 21,042 victims of traffic crashes, with over 4,000 deaths between January and 13th November 2025. Pedestrians still account for the highest number, with Nairobi County recording 447 fatalities over the same period.
With the numbers showing a slight increase in the number of road fatalities recorded so far, the clarion call has been to all road users to observe all safety regulations ahead of the festivities in order to suppress the numbers. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
The Taifa Gas Special Economic Zone Limited project got a reprieve after the Environmental and Land Court dismissed a petition challenging the construction of the 16 billion LPG gas terminus at Dongo Kundu Special Economic Zone in Likoni. The project was launched by President William Ruto in February of 2023 and is expected to make cooking gas affordable. Now, this dismissal of the petition opens the window for investors to bid at the 1,000-acre piece of land available under the Kenya Ports Authority. Francis Mtalaki has more.
After more than 2 years of a legal battle at the Mombasa Environmental and Lands Court, the Taifa Gas LPG project finally got a nod from the courts to continue with the construction of a 30,000 metric tons LPG plant. In his ruling, Justice Stephen Kibunja struck out a petition by two Likoni residents who are challenging its construction on grounds that the project will have advanced environmental and land use impacts on the land. According to the court, the matters raised were adequately addressed by the National Environment Tribunal appeals and permits from National Environment Management Authority (NEMA) that okayed the 16 billion project. The petitioners were also opposed to the construction of a pipeline, saying it will ruin the quality of water and penetration of light for the ecosystem within seawater, cutting and destruction of indigenous trees for the setting up of the LPG terminus. According to the Mombasa court, the petitioners' claim was not about their constitutional rights and freedom being infringed by the project works, but rather questioning the process and status of the project approval and execution. The latest move now allows Tanzanian investor Rostam Azizi to continue with the construction works that are still at the initial stage, unless the petitioners challenge the decision by Justice Stephen Kibunja. In a statement, Taifa Gas has welcomed the decision, saying the ruling is not only a vindication of commitment to due process and environmental responsibility, but also a milestone for Kenya's energy transition. Azizi says the project will improve livelihood, especially for the women living in communities around the project. This comes as a section of residents of Dongo Kundu Special Economic Zone continue to decry over the compensation process at the 1,000-acre piece of land under the Special Economic Zone. Francis Mtalaki, Citizen TV, Mombasa.
We head to Elgeyo Marakwet now, and hundreds of families who were displaced by the Chesongoch mudslide that destroyed their homes and uprooted their lives are living in makeshift IDP camps. This as they prepare to lay to rest 40 people who lost their lives that fateful day and search for 8 others who are buried under the mud to date. The families hope that the planned resettlement happens sooner than later. Brenda Wanga has that report.
From a distance, these hills and valleys of Chesongoch in Elgeyo Marakwet County rise and fall in an ancient embrace. But beneath this serene surface, a silent threat has long loomed. At the beginning of this month, that threat unleashed its fury. A devastating mudslide tore through this community, leaving behind a trail of destruction and sorrow. 39 lives were lost in an instant, with 8 more still missing, swallowed by the earth. These very roads that connect Chesongoch to the outside world became impassable, hindering immediate rescue efforts and isolating those who survived. A fortnight later, the situation remains the same as efforts to get aid to those in need continues to be an uphill task. Among the hardest hit was the Chesongoch Mission Hospital, a beacon of hope and healing for this remote community. The mudslide, when it came, nearly wiped out this facility, and the impact of that devastation is still visible.
The support, like the one we have got from MEDS, and also with our level best, we will be able to recover and offer services to the humanity, which is what we are called, to offer services in this area.
Hundreds have been displaced, their homes destroyed, their lives uprooted. They now reside in IDP camps, temporary shelters offering safety but little comfort, as they prepare to lay to rest those that they lost that fateful day.
During our lowest, this has been our lowest. We are burying 39 people at a go, which has never happened in our county. And the county has really tried, but you know, when you are in such unforeseen circumstances, you can't really be ready for it.
But even in this state, they know the danger is never too far away. The county and national government now strategizing for a long-term solution.
The most immediate option is we plant tree crops so that we can be able to hold, even as government looks on a long-term program, because majority of those people don't have a place to go, and therefore the best thing is we marry livelihoods and settlements so that our people can be able. But we have advised our people to move. We have also another option that if possible, affordable housing can be brought to a certain safe place, then all of them can be going to the farms and coming back.
But before that happens, aid workers and medical staff brave the rough terrain to get to the ground, providing essential food, medicine, and emotional support to those who have lost everything.
We wanted to come and rebuild Chesongoch together, and we also had the request from His Excellency the Governor, the Bishop himself, to come and start to rebuild. So today, we brought a consignment which is composing of medicine, which are going to the people, and also we got beds as well with mattresses among the others, so that we can be able to rebuild that hospital which was almost swept away completely.
In the midst of what is obviously a devastating time, the residents of Chesongoch put on a brave face and a song on their lips.
And also with our level best, we will be able to recover and offer services to the humanity, which is what we are called, to offer services in this area.
Perhaps in a show of defiance against the vagaries of nature and a reinforcement of the undying spirit of a people who have known and lived side by side with danger. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
We head to Marsabit town now, where a businessman has been arrested for allegedly financing terrorism through cryptocurrency networking. According to the anti-terrorism police, there is enough evidence linking Abdisalam Hassan to the illicit trade. However, Abdisalam's family is disputing terror links and has demanded for the immediate release of their kin from police custody. Their demands escalated to tension, forcing the APTU to use alternative ways to evacuate the suspect to Nairobi. The anti-terror police unit now says Abdisalam will be arraigned tomorrow alongside a city lawyer who was also arrested in Mombasa over terror-related charges.
Na pia kuna wengine wengi ambao pia wameshikwa katika sehemu ya Sololo. Haswa Marsabit iko na kisa nyingi sana ya askari ambao wanakuja kushika kwa hiyo tuhuma ya antitera. Sijui kama inatumika kwa njia sawasawa. Sisi kama familia tunahuzunishwa sana kwa sababu kijana hajajihusisha na hii mambo, na imetupa stress kubwa sana kama familia.
They should not infringe on our right. This is our basic right. Watu kuishi kwa amani, na serikali lazima ichunge sisi na mali yetu na watoto wetu.
We take a break on Citizen Sunday Live, but you're in for a treat because up next is Citizen Planet. Coming up on Citizen Planet, we tell you how a 23-year-old woman is repurposing textile waste into useful use. Welcome back to Citizen Sunday Live. A 23-year-old woman in Mathare, Nairobi is rewriting the textile waste narrative, cleaning up the environment and creating jobs for desolate youth and women in the community. This despite the government regulatory burden and the Climate Fund institution's deliberate, discriminative, stringent gatekeeping measures that disadvantage such initiatives. Agnes Olo spent time with Faith Adoyo and filed Citizen Planet tonight.
In the shadow of Nairobi's skyline, the sprawling informal settlement of Mathare bore the scars of nature's fury in the aftermath of the March-May 2024 torrential downpour that left the poverty-stricken community doubly affected and the environment laden with water-flood-swept debris of all manner. 1 year on, 23-year-old Faith Adoyo welcomes us to share in a journey that dares to solve the textile waste challenge and contain Mathare River's pollution.
We did a research na findings zenye tulikuwa nayo ni textile waste ndio the key issue ama ndio the major type of waste yenye nafanya stories za floods zinakuwa sana juu kuna clogs za sewer lines. Alafu again, not so many people are into textile waste, unlike plastic waste na steel waste zenye ziko na ready market. So tuliangalia tukaona tunaweza do nini. So hapo ndio Upcyclers Creative Hub ilizaliwa.
The EPR law mandates, the polluter to pay for the amount of trash that they bring into the country. And the importers also have a responsibility. But it's very hard to even, go back and be able to identify that, for instance, something that came from Zara, H&M, can actually be traced back.
Adoyo is a career model, a job that has helped her in repurposing various types of textile waste into useful pieces.
We also get donations from the center. Na saa zingine unapata target group yetu nimekuambia ni young people. Na nguo zenye umepewa, they are not youthful. Hizi ni nguo zenye wasichana wataki kuvaa, si stylish. So tunazirepurpose. Gikomba tuko na number of stalls mali tunaendea their dead stock, which inatuserve. Isli business community before coming to dump kwa Mathare River, tuna make sure sasa siku hizi sisi ndo tunaendea kwao. Like this is one of our piece. Unaona it's different print. So kuna hizi larger fabrics zenye tunapata na zinaweza tengeneza nguo. Kama hii material is purely recycled from the scraps zenye tulipata.
Born and bred in Mathare, Adoyo understands fully the plight of most women and youth within the community, and her fashion from textile waste dream is a bailout.
Unapata mwanamke anakuuliza enyewe bwana ananipiga lakini nitatoka niende wapi. So kama kuna kibarua anaweza kuja ashone apate pesa yake kidogo, anakuja workshop anafanya kazi. We have waste collectors, we have marketers, we have now the designers. So ina depend na docket yenye mtu wako.
Within the Mathare slum is Mto Wangu initiative, founded to maintain Mathare River and Nairobi River. It birthed Upcyclers Hub, which also shares this roof. Here we meet Lauren Osala, a single mother of one and an Upcyclers Hub beneficiary, and Peter Aaron, a third-year student of engineering at the University of Nairobi and a resident of Mathare. His look is courtesy of the hub within his reach.
Upcyclers nilikuja kama observer. Nikaona vitu zenye wanatengeneza zinaweza ni interest. Kama hii tulijishonea. So tunavaa kujimarket na bado tukipata mtu mwenye anataka kushonewa anaweza kuja tumshone tumuuzie.
So we have a lot of models in the street of Mathare, but because of the situation you find that they lose hope at a very younger age, and it's really painful for someone who could be a star one day just losing hope at once and not finding the chance to at least explore themselves. So here we are able to get the designs.
Nime-employ 22 women wenye wako fully employed. Wanakuja hapo every day. That's a big achievement to me. That's something naweza hesabu. Naangalia na waona hawa ni madem na wako job. Like na walipa, mimi ni tajiri ya mtu. It feels so nice.
Given the limited space, the ladies train and work in turns. Those who graduate with artisanry and tailoring are released into the market to pave way for new recruits.
We are partnering with other like-minded organizations, wenye wanataka tailors, wenye wanataka skilled women, artisans, so wenye wanachora. Kama hii is from an old bed sheet. So canvas is very expensive. Ndo inafanya art inakuwa expensive. So huyu ni mimi nilichorwa. This is a bed sheet. Mdhamini alikuwa amekubali kutubaia mashini 5. So tunashikanisha kama group, then wanatafuta stalls nao kwa community. At least waanzie mahali. Unajua ukipea mwanamke skill na umpe like startup kit, at least ume make a change kwa maisha yake.
Kenya is leading African countries with a locally available funding for grassroots climate action enterprise. However, credibility on how the fund is disbursed and who the beneficiaries are is still in question, as Adoyo confess real financial stress in running her initiative.
Tunasomewa hizi budgets kwa barazas, public participation. Unaambiwa these and these monies are allocated to environment docket, Mathare constituency. Then it's not functioning. So tunashanga what is not right. People are gatekeeping, let me tell you. For instance, flocker, from last year nimekuwa nikisikia kuna flocker. Kuna doi iko allocated to youths, kuna doi iko allocated to people in the waste sector, climate action. Kuna watu wenye wana believe ndio upate those opportunities, lazima go through them. The offices, they are not that youth friendly. Wazee wa kijiji ndo wamejaa kwa youth office. Ukienda hapo unataka nini? Naambia I'm here to see the youth officer. Kwani sisi wezi ongea na sisi? Msichana una adabu? Then you're like.
The Kenya Association of Manufacturers has in 2 years registered 37 new manufacturing industries countrywide in the line of waste management, a sign of goodwill to manage waste and create jobs. However, the national and county government's legal formalities is a thorn in the flesh to initiatives, more so to those making baby steps.
Kama tunadeal na textile waste, tunafanyanga ile selective collection. Kuna ile waste yenye tunaweza tumia, then kuna ile yenye sasa hatuwezi tumia, maybe contaminated sana, so tuna need gava ikuje i-collect. Unaambiwa you have to fuel the government, city council lorries wakujie. A lot of legal formalities zina to drain. Makaratasi mingi, sijui permit ya kufanya nini, Now hata kuuza our goods unaambiwa sijui you need standardization, unafaa uende kwa government institution kusoma kirti, which is also expensive. Yani wametuwekea a lot of barriers.
We have engaged the national government through the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, and also through the Deputy President Office in terms of addressing what we call regulatory burden. The ministry or the government is trying to identify how many licenses are manufacturers required to have, and how many are duplicated, so that they can be able to collapse those that are duplicated and remain with only those that are relevant.
As Adoyo, like many others, pushes herself to succeed in textile waste management, the Mathare River may just get a new lease of life through her efforts. Her hope is to not only clean up the river and make the community shine through fashion, but to also get meaningful support by various stakeholders to keep her dream and that of the women and youth in Mathare community alive.
South Africa's Women Sevens rugby team, the Springbok, successfully defended the Rugby Africa Women Sevens Cup title, beating hosts Kenya Lionesses 22-0 at the RFUEA grounds in Nairobi. Shaniqua Lamprecht spotted a vast gap on the right wing to score a try for South Africa, securing a 7-0 lead at the break. Simamkele Namba added a try for the visitors before Patience Mokone breaking through through the defensive to touchdown and widen the gap to a commanding 17-0 lead. The Cecil Africa-led squad added one final try to seal a comprehensive 22-0 victory to book their place in the HSBC series.
I think they've done well, so well done to South Africa. And you saw how much Uganda wanted it as well. So for Kenya, we had already qualified for 7s2. So for us, it was just working out our combinations, seeing who can play with who, where, and when. So for us, I think generally, I can say we've achieved our targets, and I'm proud of the ladies' efforts.
The whole season was a challenging season for us in terms of our preparation. We never really got together as a squad. We used to most of our players we got a week before the tournament, but we understood the bigger picture to make sure that we can send the best squad to the Rugby World Cup. But now we have opportunity to rectify those mistakes, and yeah, again we really started well for this tournament. So hopefully we can build on this to make sure once we come to 7s3 that we can be much more clinical, and then hopefully can get to 7s2.
Kenya Premier League defending champions Police FC close game week 9 in 10th position after beating Tusker FC 2-1 at the St. Sebastian Park, Murang'a. At the Nyayo National Stadium, FC Leopards and Murang'a Seal played to a barren draw as Leopards were seeking to bounce back from their 2-0 defeat at the hands of Mara Sugar FC. Leopards are third with 13 points after playing 8 games, with Murang'a Seal in 14th place with 9 points. Gor Mahia are still top of the table standings, 1 point ahead of second placed Kakamega Homeboys.
Transition nzuri kutoka kuzuia kwenda kushambulia. Alionekana kulemewa kabisa Casey Odhiambo. Alikuwa na utulivu mkubwa. Joy Rungu Edera akamegewa utamu ule Levis Wanjala Omondi.
For me, it's a plus for me because we are creating a lot of chances. It's just a matter of being clinical in the 18-yard area and scoring. We have to work on our transitions because our transitions ndio imekuwa ni problem sana. But again, pia scoring it let down a little bit, but we're still building, and it's coming.
Ukiangalia safu zote zilikuwa zimiliki, lakini naweza sema kongole kwa defense ni kwa sababu at least wamejaribu keep clean sheet, but hapo mbele struggle sana a lot. That injury last minute pia kuna vile imetukost kwa sababu ukiangalia tactically tulikuwa tumeprepare na ule Mugane, sasa imekuja sasa ikakuwa ni makeshift, imetuumiza kidogo.
Kenya women's deaf basketball team on Sunday began their campaign at the Tokyo Deaf Olympics on the wrong footing, losing 104-30 to Giants Australia at Otter City General Gymnasium. On Monday, Kenya will be out to bag their first medal when the men's 10,000 meters and 4x4 meters relay finals go down at the Komazawa Olympic Park Gymnasium. Ian Wambui Kahinga will lead Kenya's charge in the 21-man field, joined by Peter Ruto and David Kipkogei. In the 4x400 meters mixed relay, Kenya's captain Isaac Atima will be hoping to lead by example by steering the team to a podium finish. The other members of the relay contingent are Lynette Wamba, Beryl Wamira and Simon Menza. Kenya's national football team, Harambee Stars, will have to forget their slender 1-0 loss against Equatorial Guinea when they meet African giants Senegal in another friendly match that will be staged at the Antalya Stadium on Tuesday. Harambee Stars fell to the West Africans, Equatorial Guinea, on Friday at the Emir Complex Stadium, with the focus now turning to getting a positive result against Pepe Thiau's coach Senegal. Benny McCarthy is expected to bring changes to the team that was beaten on Friday. Equatorial Guinea, together with Senegal, are using their friendly matches to prepare for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, which will be held in Morocco from December the 21st. Jacqueline Chemutai and Gaspar Amboya were crowned champions of the inaugural Windsor Mini Marathon, which attracted 400 participants. In the 10 kilometers men's race, Gaspar Amboya emerged victorious in 33 minutes 6 seconds, followed by James Kiarie in 34 minutes 57 seconds. Maoya Kurihara was third, and the ladies' 10-kilometer race was won by Jacqueline Chemutai in 58 minutes 40 seconds.
Ilikuwa fiti hata kama kulikuwa na challenges yenye nilikuwa naona kwamba kuna watu wenye ni wakubwa wanaweza nishinda, kuna wale wenye nilikuwa naona wanaweza kimbia wanishinde, lakini at the end nikaona hapana, I can do, naweza kimbia na naweza shinda hii race.
Windsor has been known for being golf. Everybody knows golf, they associate Windsor with golf. But what many people didn't know, we have a very, very nice jogging track inside the Windsor Forest, which is 5 kilometers.
All right, before Wilson Ochuka and I wish you a good night and a great start to the week, let's take a look at some of your feedback on our reports tonight. I'll start with Citizen Planet on my behalf and say that Faith Adoyo did an incredible job elucidating the bureaucratic bottlenecks that she faces as she seeks to save the planet. This is Frank Orinde, who says the by-election showdown between government and opposition is loud, heated and full of theatrics. None of it is translating into real solutions for Wanjiku. Same politics, same blame game, same empty wins. Kenya needs leadership that puts citizens first, not power battles. This is Babu Michael, who says Citizen TV, Citizen Planet always reveals the real climate heroes, heroines. Look at what Faith Adoyo is doing. Where did we go wrong as a country? It's sad hearing the obstacles she is getting from the government side. When will we be serious? When? This is Okelo Malimu, who says the state of disaster management in this country is not only wanting but also disastrous. It's ironic that whereas the residents of North Hor are suffering from drought, their counterparts in Elgeyo Marakwet are ravaged by floods. Whoever is in charge should be sacked. This is Asbel Kemboi, who says, thank you for highlighting the drought story. Be blessed and keep up the good work. Next time, please reach out to the Marsabit County leadership and ask why the CHPs have not been paid. All right, that concludes Citizen Sunday Live. I've been your host, Olive Burrows, and Wilson Ochuka has been our sign language interpreter. Good night.